Hello everyone. A couple of years ago, I published and produced a YouTube clip entitled, "Why UK Photographic Auditing is a Complete Scam." Having been an international photojournalist, I considered it important to highlight the damage that using photographic equipment as a means of provocation was having, by creating a growing distrust of anyone with a camera. Whilst I emphasize that I absolutely acknowledge and defend the right to record video and take photographs in a public place, auditing in its current form is nothing whatsoever to do with the defense of rights and freedoms. Instead, it is premeditated, intentional, targeted antisocial behavior, designed solely to create content by deliberately promoting negative reactions via a number of recognized scripted ploys and tactics. Over time, UK auditing has evolved, and one recent tactic is the use of a drone. Instead of simply taking off from public land, legitimately getting the required footage and then leaving, the auditor enters the organization's reception area under the guise of being polite and respectful, but with the real agenda of inflaming the situation with a verbal trigger that's designed to get the staff to respond in a disapproving manner. This is solely for the purposes of content and nothing to do with any genuine interest in the building or the business it is engaged in. Indeed, it would be unfair to tar each auditor with the same brush, but freely available public domain information, both historic and current, illustrates the poor life choices many have made, resulting in prison time for a range of offences, such as violence and the sale of illegal drugs. Some are actually still behind bars. It would also be fair to say, it appears from the literary content that accompanies their videos, the majority are clearly poorly educated, with little evidence they've had any form of successful professional careers. As a passing observation, it follows, auditing provides individuals with the opportunity to feel part of a collective, and for those with empty, directionless lives, joining such a cult is both appropriate and understandable. Again, without wishing to generalize, auditors are not just out to record some images, they are using their own behavioral and linguistic peculiarities to actively engage in provocation, using their camera as some form of psychological barrier or screen that they can hide behind. This encourages them to be verbally unpleasant and deliberately evasive, taking interaction in any direction they choose, relying on their target's uncomfortableness as the basis for exchange. Many auditors still stoically hide their face in a bid to remain anonymous by wearing a mask and complain bitterly when their identity is revealed. Once you know an auditor's name who isn't keen for their identity to be made public, when you see a clip where they have refused to identify themselves, simply contact the organization they have targeted by email and provide what details you can about the auditor in question. In the case of police audits, auditors not only upload all the damning evidence of their behavior, but also kindly include all the information required to make contacting the relevant officer very easy, such as constabulary, base station, collar number and name. Supply as much information as you can and the auditor's details and face from body-worn video can be circulated and repeat visits can be better prepared for. The same is true for establishments such as job centers. All the information you need is there in the uploaded clips. Considering what the auditing agenda is purported to be, the level of hypocrisy they exhibit can be truly breathtaking. The key thing that auditors use to gain access to many buildings and associated land is what constitutes a public place, and you hear them quote this time after time, with no real understanding what it means. Quoting the Criminal Justice Act, a public place includes any highway and any other premises or place to which at the material time the public have or are permitted to have access, whether on payment or otherwise. Certainly, such a place can be privately or publicly funded, and although the public may be able to access by implied right or by invitation, once told to leave by someone with the authority to do so, they do not have an unfettered right to stay there. Clearly, Places such as a police headquarters is not a public place. It is not a police station with an inquiry desk, and consequently, there is no recognized justifiable reason for members of the public to wander around its grounds. Once instructed to leave, you leave, and force can be used if you refuse. It is important to be aware of any displayed signage, the landowner or their representative determining who can enter and what is allowed once someone is there, but once told to leave, and you refuse to do so, you become a trespasser, and common law provides the right to use reasonable force to eject such individuals. So, whilst telling someone to consider winding their neck in, and get back to work, may garner support from those keen to promote such provocation for entertainment purposes, anyone can be lawfully removed from so-called publicly funded buildings. The public do not own such institutions. Once tax has been paid and funding allocated, the operating organization manage and maintain such buildings, and they are responsible for data protection considerations, the safety and well-being of their staff, and those using their services. Once an auditor has recorded people's faces in a place such as a job center, they become a data handler, bound by the same GDPR constraints as anyone else handling personal information. If their YouTube channel is monetized, equally, they are running a business. Here we are, at the end of 2023, and regardless of what else is happening across the rest of the world, UK auditing is unquestionably very much on the decline, and at the time of writing, the number of uploaded clips gets fewer as the weeks pass. This may well be for a number of reasons, although it's likely the public has become both bored and wise to the real agenda behind the blatant lies about upholding rights. So be very aware, and do not doubt for a single second, auditing has a very clear mission statement: to aggravate, to incite, to niggle, to provoke, and all for content. The only thing any auditor is interested in is content, 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 which equates to notoriety, kudos and money. Thank you for watching.